I always thought of Grandma Aurora as an open book, her life a testament to love, laughter, and the warmth that filled every room she entered. Her blue eyes sparkled like a summer sky on a cloudless day, and her hugs had this extraordinary power to heal any pain, any sorrow. She was the pillar of our family, the one who held us together with her wisdom, her joy, and her unwavering support. But it was at her funeral, surrounded by the quiet murmur of condolences and the soft sobs of loved ones, that I stumbled upon a secret that would shatter my perception of her, and indeed our entire family forever. As I stood there trying to make sense of the emptiness that had settled in my chest, my eyes wandered to the old wooden box that sat atop her coffin. It was an heirloom, one that had been passed down through generations, its surface worn smooth by the touch of countless hands. I remembered playing with it as a child, fascinated by the intricate carvings that adorned its lid. But never in all those years had I seen what was inside. And yet something about it drew me in, a silent summons that I couldn't ignore. With trembling hands I opened the box, and that's when I saw it, a diary bound in worn leather, its pages yellowed with age. It felt like a piece of history, a tangible connection to a past that I thought I knew. As I gently lifted it out, a faint scent of lavender wafted up, carrying with it memories of Grandma Aurora's garden. I ran my fingers over the cover, feeling the embossed initials, A, and a sense of curiosity washed over me. The moment I turned the first page, a shiver ran down my spine. The handwriting was unmistakable, Grandma Aurora's. But the words, oh, the words, they spoke of a life I had never known. A life of secrets, of sacrifices, of a love that was forbidden, and a treasure that had been lost across generations. It was as if I had stumbled into a world that existed parallel to my own, one that was hidden in plain sight. In that instant I realized that I had been living a partial truth, a truth that Grandma Aurora had allowed me to see, but not the whole story. And now, as I held her diary in my hands, I felt a sense of responsibility, a duty to unravel the threads of her extraordinary life. Over the coming days, weeks, or perhaps even months, I will take you on this journey with me, a journey into the heart of Grandma Aurora's hidden legacy. It's a story of love, of loss, of resilience, and the enduring power of the human spirit. So let's begin, shall we? The first page has turned, and the story is about to unfold. In the late 1930s, nestled in the heart of America, lay the small town of Willow Creek, a place where time seemed to stand still, where the air was sweet with the scent of blooming wildflowers, and the sky was a brilliant blue that seemed to stretch on forever. It was a community where everyone knew each other's names, and life moved to the rhythm of the seasons. In this idyllic setting, a young Aurora grew up, her spirit as vibrant as the wildflowers that dotted the rolling hills. She was a dreamer with eyes that sparkled like the stars on a clear night, and a heart full of wonder. Aurora's love for reading was her passport to far-off lands, and she devoured books of all kinds, from classics to adventure stories. Her imagination knew no bounds, and she often found herself lost in the pages of a good book, her feet bare and her hair tousled from spending hours under the sun. Aurora was part of a close-knit family that lived on a modest farm on the outskirts of town. Her parents, hardworking and kind, instilled in their children the value of hard work and the beauty of simplicity. Thomas, her older brother, was a young man with a passion for flying, spending hours poring over aviation manuals and dreaming of the day he could soar through the skies. Then there was Lily, her younger sister, a poet at heart, who saw the world through a lens of beauty and innocence. Despite their differences, the siblings were incredibly close, sharing laughter, secrets, and dreams. Daily life in Willow Creek was dictated by the sun and the seasons. Mornings began early, with the family working together in the fields, the smell of fresh earth and growing crops filling the air. School days were filled with learning and play, and evenings were spent under the starry sky, listening to their parents tell stories of the past. It was a simple, peaceful existence, filled with joy and contentment. Yet, amidst this serene backdrop, Aurora felt a stirring within her, a sense of restlessness that she couldn't quite explain. It was as if she was being called to something more, something beyond the rolling hills and familiar streets of Willow Creek. This feeling was subtle, a gentle whisper in the back of her mind, but it was there, a hint of the adventures that lay ahead, and the challenges that would test her courage and her heart. Little did she know the peaceful world she knew was on the cusp of change, and her life was about to take a dramatic turn. one that would lead her down paths she had never imagined. As the warmth of summer began to wane in Willow Creek, the air grew thick with an unspoken sense of change. News of European tensions trickled in through the radio and newspapers, casting a shadow over our once peaceful community. At first, it seemed like a distant rumble, a far-off storm that wouldn't quite reach our tranquil valley. But as the weeks turned into months, the war's presence became impossible to ignore. Thomas, ever the adventurer, listened with wide eyes and a mix of excitement and worry as our neighbors spoke of enlistment and the draft. My parents, on the other hand, wore expressions of concern, their faces creased with worry about our farm's future and the safety of our family. I recall walking through the fields with Thomas, feeling the earth beneath my feet, the familiar rhythm of our lives now tinged with uncertainty. I, Aurora, found myself caught between my brother's thrill-seeking and my parents' practical fears. The world I had always known was beginning to fray at the edges. The newsreels and radio broadcasts painted pictures of a world in chaos, and I couldn't help but wonder if our quiet lives were about to be swept up in a maelstrom of change. I began to question the very fabric of our reality, the justice of a world where such darkness could exist. My diary became a confidant, a place where I poured out my thoughts and feelings, trying to make sense of it all. It was on one of these contemplative walks, lost in thought, that I first saw him, a young man in a military uniform, standing by the old oak tree at the edge of town. There was something about him that seemed out of place, a sense of purpose that didn't quite align with the relaxed posture of the local boys. His eyes, a deep shade of blue, seemed to carry a weight, a story that wasn't immediately apparent. As our gazes met, I felt a spark, a sense of connection that was both exhilarating and unnerving. The stranger's arrival was not a coincidence, I would later learn. He was Elias, a man with a secret mission and an enigmatic past. His presence in Willow Creek was about to draw me into a world where love and war were perilously intertwined, a world that would challenge everything I thought I knew about myself and my place in it. As I watched him walk towards me, I couldn't shake the feeling that my life was about to change in ways I could hardly imagine. Little did I know, the quiet life we had known in Willow Creek was on the cusp of being shattered, and Elias's arrival was just the beginning. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, Aurora and Elias's secret meetings became more frequent, their love growing stronger with each passing moment. They'd steal away to the old barn, or meet in the sunflower field, their footsteps quiet on the soft earth. The world around them melted away, leaving only the gentle rustle of the wind and the beating of their hearts. In these stolen moments they found solace, hope, and a sense of normalcy amidst the chaos of war. Elias's eyes, once guarded, now sparkled with a warmth that drew Aurora in, making her feel seen, heard, and understood. She, in turn, brought light to his darkness, her laughter a balm to his soul. Their love was a flame that burned bright, a beacon in the shadows of uncertainty. One evening, as they sat together in the barn, Elias's expression turned serious. "Aurora, I need to tell you something," he said, his voice low, his eyes locked on hers. "I'm not who you think I am. I'm a German scientist, a deserter. I was working on a project, a powerful encryption device, and I knew I had to get out, to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands." Aurora's heart skipped a beat. She felt a shiver run down her spine, but she didn't let go of his hand. "What does this mean?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Elias's eyes searched hers. "It means I'm in grave danger. The Nazis will stop at nothing to find me, to get that device. And I think they're getting close." He paused, his gaze drifting off into the distance. "I've been searching for a way to disable it, to keep it out of their hands. But I need your help." Aurora's mind reeled, but she nodded, her determination growing. Together they began to search for the artifact, scouring the town, talking to old-timers, searching for any clue that might lead them to it. And then one night, under the light of a full moon, they found it. Elias's mentor, a clockmaker, had left a cryptic map, leading them to a secret labyrinth beneath the old church. The air was thick with dust, the passage narrow, but they made their way deeper, their hearts pounding in unison. As they explored the labyrinth, Aurora felt a sense of transformation taking hold. She was no longer just a passive observer. She was an active participant, a partner in Elias's mission. The diary, her sole confidant, recorded her fears, her love, and her growing determination. The artifact, a small, intricately carved device, lay before them, its purpose still unclear. But they knew they had to protect it to keep it out of the wrong hands. And as they emerged from the labyrinth, Aurora felt a sense of purpose she had never known before. But they weren't alone. Nazi agents disguised as civilians had begun to appear in Willow Creek, their eyes scanning the crowds searching for Elias for the artifact. The air was thick with tension, the town's paranoia growing by the day. Aurora's heart ached, her love for Elias now a beacon of hope in a sea of danger. She knew she had to be brave, to be resourceful, to protect him, to protect the artifact. And as she looked into his eyes, she knew she would do whatever it took to keep him safe, to keep their love alive. As we descended deeper into the labyrinth, the air grew thick with anticipation. Elias's eyes locked onto mine, his gaze burning with a mix of determination and fear. We had been searching for what felt like hours, navigating through narrow passages and solving ancient puzzles left behind by the clockmaker. The sound of dripping water echoed through the corridors, a steady heartbeat that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Finally, we stumbled upon a hidden chamber, and within it, the artifact. It was an object of breathtaking beauty, intricately esculpido with symbols and patterns that seemed to shimmer in the dim light. Elias's hand reached out, and as he touched it, a look of awe washed over his face. But our triumph was short-lived. The sound of footsteps, heavy and deliberate, echoed through the corridors, growing louder with each passing moment. Nazi agents, their faces twisted with malice, emerged from the shadows, their guns drawn. Elias pushed me behind him, his eyes flashing with a fierce protectiveness. I grabbed his arm, my heart racing with fear. "We have to get out of here," I whispered, but Elias stood firm, his gaze locked onto the agents. The confrontation was chaotic, the sound of gunshots and screams filling the air. I used my knowledge of the labyrinth to navigate us through the chaos, dodging and weaving between the agents. Elias fought bravely, taking down several of them, but there were too many. As we stumbled backward, cornered and desperate, Elias's eyes met mine. I saw a flash of sorrow, of regret, and then a steely determination. With a swift motion, he pushed me toward the artifact, his voice low and urgent. "Take it, Aurora. You have to get out of here. This is our only chance." I hesitated, but Elias's wound was mortal. He knew it and I knew it. With a final glance, he made his move, drawing the agents away from me. I watched in horror as he fought on, his movements slowing, his body weakening. The sound of gunshots grew fainter, and I knew I had to leave. I grabbed the artifact, feeling its weight in my hands, and turned to flee. As I ran, the darkness seemed to close in around me, and I felt Elias's presence, his love and sacrifice infusing me with a sense of purpose. I emerged into the night air, gasping for breath, the artifact clutched to my chest. Tears streamed down my face as I realized Elias was gone, his sacrifice etched into my memory forever. The diary, now more than ever, was a testament to our love, a reminder of the price we paid for our freedom. In that moment, I knew my life's mission. I would carry Elias's legacy forward, using the artifact to bring hope to a world torn apart by war and destruction. The weight of his sacrifice would drive me, a constant reminder of the power of love and courage in the face of overwhelming odds. As I emerged from the labyrinth, the darkness seemed to swallow me whole, like a shroud cast over the world. The rain-soaked night air clung to my skin, chilling me to the bone, but I didn't feel the cold. I was numb, my heart heavy with a grief that threatened to consume me. The artifact, now a tangible connection to Elias, felt like a weight in my pocket, a constant reminder of what I had lost. I stumbled through the wet streets, my eyes blinded by tears, my soul shattered by the sacrifice he had made for me. The walk home was a blur, my footsteps echoing through the deserted streets like a solitary drumbeat. I couldn't shake the image of Elias's face, his eyes locked on mine as he pushed me away, his voice whispering in my ear, "Run, Aurora." The sound of my own ragged breathing was the only thing that broke the silence, a harsh reminder that I was still alive, while he was gone. As I entered my home, the familiar warmth and light seemed like a distant dream. My family, gathered in the living room, looked up at me with concern etched on their faces. I forced a smile, a fragile thing that threatened to shatter at any moment, and they nodded, accepting it as a sign that I was okay. But I wasn't okay. I was far from okay. The days that followed were a haze of sadness and deception. We told the townspeople that Elias had died in an accident, a tragic but understandable end to a young life. I played the part of the grieving girlfriend, tears streaming down my face, my heart heavy with sorrow. But the truth was I was living a lie. I was now the keeper of a secret that isolated me from the people I loved. At night, alone in my room, I would open Elias's diary and pour out my grief onto its pages. The words flowed like tears, a cathartic release of all that I had bottled up inside. I wrote of my pain, of my anger, of my sense of loss. And as I wrote, I began to find solace in the artifact, a tangible connection to Elias that I could hold on to. The diary became my confidant, my sole companion in the darkness. I pored over Elias's notes, seeking to understand the purpose of the artifact and the mission he had entrusted to me. The words on the page were like a lifeline, pulling me back from the edge of despair. I began to study, to research, to seek out answers. The local library became my refuge, a place where I could lose myself in books and papers, driven by a newfound determination to honor Elias's memory. As I sat at a wooden table surrounded by dusty tomes and scraps of paper, I felt a sense of resolve begin to form within me. It was fragile, like a flame flickering in the wind, but it was there, a spark of determination that refused to be extinguished. I would fulfill Elias's mission, no matter the cost. I would uncover the secrets of the artifact, and I would make sure that his sacrifice was not in vain. The weight of the diary in my hands was a reminder of the promise I had made, a promise to carry on his legacy, to keep his memory alive. And as I looked up, the shadows in the library seemed to recede, like a darkness retreating before the light of a new dawn. As I reflect on Grandma Aurora's life, I find myself pondering the transformative power of love and sacrifice. Her journey, much like the artifact she safeguarded, was a testament to the human spirit's capacity for resilience and determination. After Elias's sacrifice, Aurora's world was forever changed. The once quiet life in Willow Creek was now a distant memory, replaced by the harsh realities of a world at war. Aurora's departure from the small town was a deliberate attempt to erase her footprints, to blend into the anonymity of a larger city. She found herself in a modest apartment, nestled in a bustling neighborhood, where the sounds of everyday life provided a comforting background hum. The city, with its steel and stone facade, seemed to swallow her whole, yet she found solace in its crowded streets. Her days became a relentless pursuit of knowledge, as she pored over dusty tomes in libraries and archives, seeking to understand the artifact's true potential. Elias's diary, now her most treasured possession, served as a guiding light, illuminating the path ahead. She consulted experts discreetly, careful not to arouse suspicion, and spent countless hours studying the artifact, disassembling and reassembling its intricate components. As Aurora delved deeper into the world of cryptography and intelligence, she began to grasp the artifact's extraordinary capabilities. It was more than a simple encryption device. It was a powerful tool, capable of deciphering enemy codes and predicting strategic movements. Her mind, once filled with the simple joys of small-town life, now buzzed with the thrill of discovery and the weight of responsibility. Aurora's transformation was nothing short of remarkable. She developed skills in observation, discretion, and counterintelligence, becoming a self-taught agent driven by necessity and her promise to Elias. I recall her story of deciphering a coded message, hidden in a seemingly innocuous letter from a local shopkeeper. Her eyes, once bright with curiosity, now sparkled with a newfound intensity, as she unraveled the threads of a complex puzzle. Her days were filled with the quiet thrill of the hunt, as she gathered information in public settings, ever vigilant for signs of danger. A suspicious individual lingering too long near her apartment, or a misplaced glance from a stranger, could send her heart racing. Yet, amidst the solitude and the constant threat, Aurora found a sense of purpose, a determination fueled by Elias's memory and the importance of her mission. The Nazi threat, though distant, remained ever present, a shadow cast over her life. Agents, still searching for the artifact, continued to stalk the shadows, their eyes scanning the crowds for any sign of Aurora. I remember a tense scene where she narrowly avoided detection, her heart pounding in her chest, as she slipped into a crowded market, her eyes darting towards the exit. In those moments, Aurora's emotional resilience was tested, her resolve forged in the fire of adversity. Though her journey was fraught with danger and uncertainty, she remained steadfast, driven by the love she shared with Elias and the promise she made to him. As I reflect on Grandma Aurora's life, I am reminded that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can find a way to persevere, to love, and to transform. As the war finally drew to a close, Aurora felt a sense of relief wash over her, like the gentle lapping of waves on a still pond. She had done it. She had played her part in turning the tide of history. The artifact, once a burden, had become a tool for good, helping to transmit crucial intelligence that had frustrated enemy plans and contributed to strategic victories. She remembered the countless nights spent in secret offices, her fingers flying across the keyboard, sending messages into the ether, her heart pounding with every click. The quiet satisfaction of having fulfilled her mission settled within her, like a warm ember glowing in the darkness. It was a feeling she would carry with her for the rest of her life, a reminder of the power of courage and conviction. As she looked back on those tumultuous years, Aurora realized that her journey had been one of transformation, from a young woman torn between love and duty to a strong, capable agent, driven by a sense of purpose. With the war's end, Aurora sought a new beginning, a chance to leave the past behind and find peace. She returned to Willow Creek, the small town where her story had first begun, and dedicated herself to building a new life. She became involved in community building, using her experiences to help others, supporting war-affected families, and sharing her wisdom with the young. Her home became a haven for those seeking solace, and her garden a sanctuary of beauty and growth. The artifact, once a symbol of danger and uncertainty, was now a cherished reminder of Elias and the love they had shared. She carefully stored it in a beautiful music box, its intricate patterns in soft, golden glow a testament to the past. As she wound the box and listened to its gentle melody, Aurora's thoughts would drift back to Elias and the sacrifices he had made for her, for their love and for the world. Years passed and Aurora grew into the wise, loving grandmother the narrator knew. Her eyes sparkled with a deep understanding, her smile warm and inviting. She had lived a life of extraordinary experiences and profound sacrifices, but it was her kindness, empathy, and generosity that defined her present. The narrator, looking back, began to understand the depth of Aurora's character, the complexity of her story, and the legacy she had left behind. As they sat together in the garden watching children play, Aurora would share stories of her past, her voice weaving a spell of wonder and awe. The narrator listened entranced, as the pieces of her grandmother's life came together, revealing a tapestry of love, loss, and triumph. And in those moments the narrator knew that she had been blessed to have Grandma Aurora in her life, a shining example of the human spirit's capacity for resilience, courage, and love. As I sit here surrounded by the memories of my grandmother Aurora, I find myself reflecting on the diary she left behind. It's more than just a collection of pages filled with her thoughts and experiences. It's a map to her soul. Reading through its worn pages has changed me, has given me a new perspective on the woman I thought I knew. I realize now that there was so much more to her than the warm smile and the comforting words she always had for me. I remember the stories she used to tell me as a child, tales of fairies and heroes, of brave deeds and secret loves. I thought they were just simple stories, meant to entertain and inspire. But now, I understand that they were metaphors for her own life, for the extraordinary journey she undertook. The fairies were the whispers of her conscience, guiding her through the darkness. The heroes were the people she loved, like Elias, who risked everything for what they believed in. Aurora's legacy isn't just the artifact, or the secrets she kept hidden. It's the silent strength she carried with her every day, the wisdom she shared through her stories, and the unconditional love she gave to everyone around her. It's the complexity and beauty of life's tapestry, woven with threads of joy and sorrow, of love and loss. As I look back on my own life, I see parallels between Aurora's struggles and triumphs and my own. I realize that her experiences, though lived in a different time, continue to inspire and guide me. Her story has given me a deeper understanding of life and courage, and I find peace in knowing that I come from a lineage of strong, resilient women. The diary has become a personal treasure, a guide that I return to whenever I need wisdom or solace. It reminds me that our stories, though unique to each of us, are interconnected, and that by sharing them, we can find common ground and understanding. Aurora's story has taught me that we all have our own hidden stories, waiting to be uncovered and shared. It's a universal message, one that I hope to pass on to others, inspired by her example. As I close this diary, I feel a sense of closure, of profound understanding. I know that I will carry Aurora's legacy with me, and that her story will continue to inspire me to live a life of courage, love, and resilience. As we close the chapter on Grandma Aurora's remarkable story, we're reminded that life is a tapestry of love, sacrifice, and unexpected discoveries. Her journey, woven with threads of courage, resilience, and devotion, teaches us that even in the darkest times, there's always hope. The hidden diary, a symbol of her enduring legacy, whispers secrets of a life lived with purpose and passion. If Aurora's story has resonated with you, then its purpose has been fulfilled. Her tale continues through us, in the laughter of our children, the love we share, and the challenges we overcome. As we reflect on her life, we're invited to examine our own, to uncover the hidden narratives that shape us. Please take a moment to share your thoughts with us. Leave a like, subscribe to our channel for more stories that inspire and uplift. Share this story with someone who needs a reminder of the power of love and resilience. And as you go about your day, remember Grandma Aurora's wisdom. Every life has a story worth telling, and every story has the power to inspire. As we say goodbye to Grandma Aurora, we're left with a question. What secret do you think she held dearest to her heart, and what legacy will you leave behind? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going.